Hi everyone, I thought we would do a little page from this book today. The fluff balls, as I call it, I think it translates as hair balls, which is and in here we have a really cute little lamb picture, which I thought was perfect for our sort of spring / Easter pages. So I thought I would do some of it today. I'm not sure how much I'll do, but we'll just see how it goes. I've got my Black Widow's pencils because I haven't tried them. Let's come in a little closer. Cut that sun out of shot. I don't know if it's going to misbehave and stay there. You can see it there. I don't know how annoying that is. I hope it's okay. I haven't tried Black Widow's pencils in this book yet, and so I'm going to have a go. So I thought I would just start actually by doing the background and then do the little baby lamb, because it's going to be white, so I need to do the background, and you'll see as it sort of develops. So I'm going to start by doing this sort of grass, I think, at the bottom. I'm just having a look at what colours we've got. There's actually, the Grub green is rather nice. I'm going to use that, as a base. This is from the Scorpion set of Black Widows, and I'm just going to start colouring. Probably start at the bottom. I think you can see. I'm going to go up and down a little bit just because it's grass, and it's quite light, isn't it, this colour? But that's okay, because we're sort of doing springtime. Spring greens generally quite light anyway. Everything looks very light and pretty at this time of year, so that's rather nice. I'm looking forward to I'm going for a walk on Wednesday with a friend, and we're going along the canal, sort of looking forward to being able to see all the spring colours, the blossoms maybe out, I'm not sure, and things like that. I think this pencil's going down pretty well on this paper, nice and smooth. I'm really liking this paper in this book, I have to say. I think we'll take that all the way up there. It's quite hard to know where to, because I'm going to do sky, it's quite hard to know where to start the sky and sort of stop the grass. But we'll have a look in a minute and try and find a natural place. But no, there used to be a field with some sheep in, so there may be a chance we'll see some lambs, but it's very unlikely. I don't think the sheep I've ever seen them lambing in that field. So just sort of doing a rough edge. It doesn't need to be a straight line because it's grass. It's going to be a bit up and downy. Just going to fuss about with it for a minute. You could do another colour as well and do a sharp one. Let's try and speak. A very sharp pencil and try and actually draw in the blades of grass. But I'm quite happy with it just looking quite plain like that at the moment. So we'll just wait and see. Now I need a sky blue. I think this one looks really good. There's one called Blue Heaven in the Scorpion set again. I don't know where it's going to focus for you. This one's quite blunt. Now we have this sort of in the background. Now it looks a bit like ears of corn. Now it's spring, so this is definitely the spring section of the book. Let's just bring it down a little bit. So I'm not thinking that is what it's supposed to be. I'm going to colour across for the sky, not down. I find that if I colour up and down movements for the sky, it looks like it's raining, and I don't think it looks like a rainy day, so I'm going to colour across instead. I mean, I try to colour in little circles so I get a reasonably even coverage, but I can always see my pencil lines, particularly with these thinner pencils. So I find the across just helps me for it to look a little better, a little less like rain, which isn't what I want. Anyway, these things, as I say, they look like ears of corn. So I'm a little bit confused as to how to colour them. I should have perhaps had a look to see sometimes I do have a look and see how other people colour pictures, just to get an idea of something, like if there's something in the picture and I can't work out what it's supposed to be, for example. But I'm sorry about this big bit of sunlight here. I hope it's not too distracting. It's actually, I think it's much better to colour with the blinder open and get some natural light in my video, which is why I haven't closed it, but I will probably have to close it next for the next one I record. But anyway, we'll see. So no, I don't know what these are. They could just be grasses rather than, there are grasses that look like that, but again, it's not a spring. So, right. I'm going to start colouring around them. I'm still trying to do an across movement if I can, but it's tricky. Try not to colour the leaves, but you can colour over the stems. Unless you want to do a line of colour for the stem, then you can leave a minuscule white line. What Chris Cheng does in hers is she would leave a line just to the side of it and then colour that in. It's too fiddly for me, particularly on a picture this size. If I was I can't speak today. If I was copying one of her videos, I would do that, but I'm not. So yeah, I watched one of hers the other day. It was from a Clara Markova book, and it was a sort of door and bricks, and I'm colouring a door at the moment from a Hannah Carlson book. Obviously a very different style of drawing, very different style of picture, but I was just having a look for a few ideas of what colours, but of course she uses about 1 million colours for each item. Maybe not 1 million, but a lot. I used quite a few for my door, to be honest. Now make sure your colour goes right up to the edge of your lamb, because we're going to be using some white pen, and if we overlap the edge of our lamb, it can be useful to have quite a defined colour the other side. So this is, yeah, quite plain colouring. You can do your background and leave some space for clouds if you want to, but I don't tend to do clouds with pencil very much. My clouds don't always look particularly good. I find it much easier to do them with pastel somehow. So with a pastel you're going to splodge, and then if it looks rubbish you can just sort of go over it. But I was using my pastels yesterday. I had such fun. I coloured in a Hannah Carlson picture. You'll see it on my Facebook page eventually, after the sort of Easter pictures have gone through. And I did a phoenix. It was a bird in the Magical Dawn, I think, and it just looked like a phoenix to me, so I coloured it in the sort of red, orange, yellow, which was great fun, like a sunset. And then in the background I used pastels and did some black and a very dark red and some yellow as well. It was such fun, such fun. Actually, if you've watched my completed pages for March, you will see it. So if you haven't seen that, you can pop over to afterwards and have a look at that, and have a look at it, because yeah, it was great fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I showed it to my sister. She said, I bet you wished you'd recorded a tutorial for it. And I was like, well, I couldn't because of I was doing it while I was on Skype. So I couldn't be recording a tutorial, but I could always do one with a different picture in a different book. It was actually really quite straightforward, the technique that was. It takes time, but because I did it like a colour a sunset, so it's just deciding what colour to put where, which is obviously, whoops, I'm colouring a blue leaf there, which is obviously always a problem when you're colouring, but oh, it was such fun. I was pleased with how it looked, which is always a second bonus, but for me, having fun is the most important bit. Right, I'm happy with the sky, so I'm going to stop there. Now I'm thinking that I'm going to do the leaves at the bottom of our... I'm thinking, are they spring flowers? Can we imagine them to be some sort of floral thing? But I don't think I can. So I want to go darker green. Now, ironically, we have something called green grass in the Scorpion set, which I think will be ideal. Obviously, I didn't use it for the grass. I've just noticed a big bit of blue that I've missed. Hold on a minute. Whoops, pencil's going all over the place. So this is the Blue Heaven. I need to join it up here, but also in here. I haven't done this bit in here. Really important. Oh, I'm getting hot. To ditch my, hang on, to ditch my jumper. 1 minute. Oh, sorry. I could, oh, the sun, look at that. I've just noticed it's come round. I'm going to shut the blind as well. Hold on. Hopefully the camera, etc., might adjust, but maybe not. Okay, so we have got the green grass to do these leaves. I'm going to do them quite simply. I want them a little bit darker at the bottom and lighter at the top, and I should be able to do that by just doing less layers of colour towards the tip. Phew, so hot. Just had a cup of coffee, that's probably what it is. I'm not sure if this leaf up here is a continuation of this one. I don't think it matters that much. I will just make this bit darker anyway, so that and around where it's overlapping, so it looks like it's behind. That's a bit faint. There we go. Now you could do your tips in a lighter green, even perhaps the one you've used for the grass, if you want to. I'm thinking that I'd really like these bits to be a nice bright, a nice spring-like colour. So I think I've missed another bit of blue there, haven't I? So I think rather than worrying about whether they're flowers or whatever, I am just going to do them as flowers, so that it looks pretty, because we're not going to have many colours in this, you know. Our sheep's going to be white, well, mainly. We've got a couple of butterflies which we can colour, but it'd be nice to put in some sort of nice colour. So now I'm wondering, that's not green, is it? That's a bit of blue. Hang on. Sorry if you've done that wrong like I did. It actually, this bit here is blue. I got confused by that stem. There we go. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, so let's do those little things as flowers. And I'm thinking now, is it like lavender? So should we do it in purple? I think that might, it's a pretty colour and it might just work. Now I had initially thought, I've missed a bit of blue here as well. Quite a lot actually. Let's just finish these leaves. I had initially thought that pale lavender might, like pale colours might look more spring-like, but I think that to stand out against the blue sky we need something a little bit darker. So what have I got? In the Scorpion set I don't really have any purple, so I'm going to go to my Cobra set, I think, because there are really delicious purples. There's space. We use the space. Okay. like with the leaves, I'm going to try and fade them up a bit. This one's too small. And hopefully they don't look too odd. And we'll just do them all. I'm sort of thinking about this frame around and stuff as well, what to do with that. I hadn't really planned on doing that in this video, so. I think it's a little tricky to quite make it all out. I think I'm definitely going to have to come back in with my blue and tidy it all up in a minute, but that's fine. And you could do them to slightly different shades if you wanted, but I tend to want to sort of make them look like they're all the same plants and keep them the same colour. So that's what I'm sort of going to do. Now I've been looking up pictures of sheep, lambs I mean, and yeah, there's lots, and it didn't help me massively because yeah, anyway, let's grab the blue. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit, remembering that I want to try and go in an across horizontal fashion. Oh, I think I need to do a bit of purple there. There we go. Let's just grab that grape again. Space, sorry, it's not grape, it's space. There is a grape as well. Okay, so the lamb's ears I want to do in a very delicate pink. We don't have the most delicate pinks in the Black Widows. We have the fancy pink. So I'm going to use that and try and use it lightly. We've only got the one ear, actually the other one we can't see inside. It's a little bit bright. I'm going to go over the top of it in, do we have a sort of peachy colour? We have the tanned. I think I'll use, oh, what's that? No, I'm going to use the tanned colour, which is a scorpion one, and just go over it. There we go. Okay, now butterflies next. I'm thinking maybe an orange for one of them. We've got a nice burnt orange in the scorpion set. I'm going to use that for this one. Really stands out. And then this one I thought we might do in a sort of pinky red. What have I got? What's that? Oh no, that's red. Yeah, let's use this one. Oops, this is from the scorpion set. Again, it is the pastel purple. It's actually purple. Just going to sharpen. I know I haven't finished the orange one yet, don't worry. Coming back in a minute. And just fading it towards the edges of the wings. That isn't all we're doing with our butterflies. This one, I think this little bit coming out of the back of here is a bit of a body. So I'm going to grab the sort of charcoal and do that. There. It's hard to tell, isn't it? And then just around the edges of the wings, I'm going to do a little bit of black. I do like putting a bit of black on my butterflies. Hopefully this won't look so odd once I've put a few dots of white on them, which I will do think I'll do it now in case I forget. I'm going to use my Gellyroll 05. It's a really little thin nib because we've got such a small area to cover, and just put some white dots around on top of that black. Like that. Don't think they show up that well. Maybe because the black isn't that dark. Just putting them on again. Right, lamb. Now I decided that I was going to colour my lamb in the way that I colour Christmas stocking fur. Sounds a bit odd, but bear with me. So what I tend to do is colour grey and then put white on top, and it gives a fur effect. So I'm hoping it's going to work for my lamb. You could just leave it white. Actually, because of the background and the way that it's all coloured, it looks quite cute, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try something, and I may wish I hadn't. So dim grey to start with all over a light layer. Okay, so there's no white left apart from the eye. I'm not going to change the eye. It's changing. And I'm sort of going to ignore the socks and just colour it all grey. We will do a little bit with the hooves. Is that what they're called in sheep? I guess they are. Now these bits that are shaded darker, I'm actually going to put an extra layer on top. As you will see a little bit of this coming through. So that's our first part. And then I want a darker grey, so I'm going to use this charcoal. Okay, and I'm going to put in the fur. Now, sheep isn't really long. This bit's going to come up. But, so don't do massive strokes. It's always a bit tricky getting the, where does it curve round? I think like that maybe. But on the other hand, if you do the teeny tiniest of strokes, it gets very boring. So let's do these down here. Now, although we've got lines going across to show the shade, the strokes of the fur would grow downwards on the legs, as it's shown just there. Sort of change direction here. It's where it gets a bit tricky with fur. Think about where it's going to change direction, but you can sort of mark it out as best you can. Okay, now we get our white. I'm not going to use the teeny 05, I'm going to use the 08, because the 05, that's a 10. There's the 08, because the 05 clogs quite easily. And then we're just going to start. Now we're going to overlap the edge of the sheep, so the black lines, it helps it look more furry if you overlap some of those. And just mark in the direction that you have been doing so with the other colour. And it's quite daring using pen, I think. But you might be used to it, but because you can't erase it. But you can colour over white pen. So if it all goes horribly wrong, you can just colour back over it. Now here I don't want to go quite so thick because we want that darker shadow to show through. But I still do want some fur there. I'm struggling to even see that I've done anything, to be honest. The white pen isn't really showing up. But I'm wondering whether I should be using a Posca, because it tends to show it better. But I'm going to persevere and finish this little chap first and then have a look and a think. Sometimes you just need a few layers. But you can see why I wanted to do the grey underneath, because you wouldn't have seen if I'd just done this on top of the white, you just wouldn't have seen it. And I'm struggling to see it even on top of the grey. Okay, that's my first layer. I'm definitely going to go in there with a Posca, see if I can get it looking a bit whiter. Let's go. A Posca's a bit thicker. And I think it tends to just show up a bit better. And I feel like I can already see the difference. Now you want to keep some of the grey showing so that you can, it looks like the grey is the sort of shadow between the bits of white fur. That's the sort of idea behind it all. Down here again, make sure you can see the darker grey that's under there. It's definitely looking, I'm going to try and leave that black bit there as well, just so that you can see that the shape helps us to see the shape of the little lamb. But this is, I'm definitely feeling much happier with this, particularly the tail. The little tufty tail looks very cute. But the more you sort of go out of the lines and fluff it, it looks more fluffy. And again here, just be a little bit wary of the fact that you want to show that it's a bit darker. And then on the face. And the ears. Fluff those out a little bit, overlapping the lines. I try not to go over this black that's drawn to show fluff as well, because I want to keep that there so that it helps give the illusion that he is furry. There. I'm going to leave that there. I am going to do his hooves. We have a black somewhere, I'm just trying to find it. Yes, the flat black that we used before. What I'm going to do is just go over this sort of black area, but leave a white shine. The white shine is indicated here. I'm just going to overemphasize it. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave that there. I'll talk you through for the I haven't decided what I'm going to do for the frame. What I think I might do is pick out the pink colour for the frame so it stands out, and the leaves, not sure yet. It's tempting to do them black or pink with a black frame. or orange with a black frame. I think I might just use the pink for the frame and do the leaves this colour, the whatever green that was, grass green, wasn't it? Grass green leaves and then a pink frame. All the way around this outside, I'm not sure yet. I'm considering that I might do a pastel yellow background. I tell you what, let's make a second video and I'll show you my ideas. I think that would be much easier. So I'll do a video tomorrow with the rest of it. So there's our sheep, our lamb, and yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and do the rest. I think it'll be much easier for you. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and yeah, tune back for part 2 tomorrow. But for now, yes, thank you. Have a lovely day and happy colouring.